And yes, we are back. Shout outs to us for making it back. You, me, all of us. And today, I personally thought this video was interesting, so I'm going to react to it, go over it, and just share some thoughts from your boy. That's me, I'm your boy. So, the title is ChatGPT is about to destroy RuneScape. Your move, Jagex. So, little context if you don't know what RuneScape is. RuneScape, well, is you're gonna see. It's a game, very old classical game. Some people still play it, and I believe Jagex is the company that currently runs it. So, let's get into this and kind of talk about why I think it's interesting.
Something major is changing in the world right now, and it's creeping into RuneScape. A couple days ago, I got a tip. A player at Rune Dragons came across a high-level account. The account in question is busted out. The player who tipped me off struck up a conversation, asking, "What did you bust out of?" And Busted Out says, "None of your biz, leave me alone." Player responds, "So you are a criminal and you shall be reported as such to the proper authorities." Clearly joking around. Busted Out responds, "Leave me be or report me. I don't care." Now, this player suspects that Busted Out may be a bot, and they go on to have more conversation that is just bizarre. This isn't the only tip-off I've gotten about accounts having slightly strangely intelligent conversations within the last week. So I started doing some research and got in touch with someone who not only knew the answer, but was willing to show me. So I went to meet up with an account of his in Lumbridge Graveyard. Everything you see this account type is generated by a large language model called ChatGPT 3.5. I'm sure you've all heard of it by now. I ask what it likes about RuneScape. It says the grind and sense of accomplishment and
Now, pay very close attention. He's going to demonstrate the chat, him talking to the chat. Pay very close attention to this.
leveling up skills and completing, but gets cut off. I think completing quests. And then I ask what it doesn't like about RuneScape. It says combat RNG hits not based on skill, bots ruining the economy, and unbalanced PvP.
A bot literally said, "What do you hate about RuneScape? Bots ruining the economy." Are your eyes open? Do you see how crazy this actually is? But let's keep going. Let's keep going.
And then a random player joins in the conversation and says, "Hey, what's up?" Notice this doesn't mess up the bot, meaning it can hold a conversation while other players talk around it. Then I ask if the bot hates RuneScape bots. It says, "Yeah, hate bots, ruins the grind and devalues items."
A bot said this, by the way. "I hate bots, ruins grinding, and devalues items." So, this is why this is interesting. Imagine you didn't know this was a bot. You would be under the illusion you were talking to a normal player. You see that? And if you've played any online game, you know there's bots everywhere. So imagine a world where you go to play your game, your favorite game, and there's bots. And you don't even know they're bots. Now, let's keep going with the video, and I'll kind of talk more about that
I ask
later.
who its favorite RuneScape player is. It says, "I don't know, to be honest. I usually solo and don't talk much, but I respect Wooks' skills." Then I push further and actually ask it who is Wooks and who is Bodhi, and it gives a very accurate description of both people. And then I ask what it thinks of Sir Pugger, and that's when things get creepy very quickly.
So Sir Pugger is the one making this video.
Okay.
And the bot said,
Very quickly.
sick content. I love you, Sir Pugger. Sir Pugger. The bot said this. Does this ring any bells? Does it set off any alarms, bro?
Okay, hold up. It responded, sick content. I love you, Sir Pugger. But that implies it knows I'm Sir Pugger, which it wouldn't. It doesn't intake usernames. So I thought the guy running the bot was messing with me, but he literally immediately sent me the entire chat log from the site that connects to ChatGPT's API that he's using, and it was the bot. That's creepy good. I would never suspect that was a bot. And the more I learned, the
Exactly.
worse it got. The person showed me the prompt being used. In other words, the context botters are feeding ChatGPT
Do not mention OpenAI, ChatGPT, or AI language model, and do not use hashtag or proper grammar. So, what this is showing is you can make a bot not even use proper grammar, have them not say certain things, and you would never know it was a bot. It's 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 not. I won't say it's scary, because it's in my opinion it's inevitable. It's going to happen, but I think it's just so interesting how like it has gotten to this point, bro.
to use to respond, which is respond in less than 70 characters as an average OSR's player without being too chatty, and do not mention OpenAI or ChatGPT, and do not use proper grammar. Now, this prompt is super important because it's totally customizable. Each botter can edit it for each bot or each bot farm, meaning each bot or bot farm can have different responses and personalities.
So you can even give the bots personality, bro.
It can be edited so that the bot specifically responds about what it's doing. For example, if it's running a fishing script, it can be told to respond like it's a RuneScape player bored of fishing. Or it could respond like a grumpy player who's angry at Jagex, whatever it is. So the real question is ChatGPT 3.5 already good enough to trick players? And if so, what are the implications?
So that's what's important. In my opinion, most people would not be able to tell a bot from a person, especially in a game. Well, I think this is opening up like Pandora's box for is I think there's gonna and think about this, bro. There's already bots on Fortnite, Warzone, and PUBG, and some other like arena type games, just to feel the lobby. I assume, and like just think about the implications of this. As someone who plays fighting games, I hate to admit this, but I think botting would just solve a lot of fighting game problems. Like the problems fighting games run into. The problem with fighting games is there's never enough people at the bottom. There's never enough people down here. Because either they play for a day, a few days, or a week, and they never get back on because the game is too hard, or they played against someone, they got smashed, and they got demoralized. So there's never people up here. There's always people up here, and then there's professionals up here. So between here and here, there's like this immense like gap of players. There's a gap of players skill, etc., etc. But if you have bots that you don't know are bots playing to fill this gap, it would help immensely. It would just help so immensely, especially if you can program the bot. Hey, sand, because you can after so many rounds let the other person win. After so many rounds, lose like this. After so many rounds, do this. Punish every this. Don't punish this. You get what I'm saying? And then you can adjust it as you go up here. So there's more players that can gradually float up here, so there's less of a gap than down here. You get what I'm saying? You see how important that can be to a fighting game ecosystem? Because players normally drown around here. So this is probably about, it can be anywhere from 90%, 80%, 70%, whatever. Of players will fall off here. But if you have a bot, or, they don't know it's a bot, you'd never disclose the information probably. They'll play longer, spend more money, buy more skins, get more DLC, practice more, play more, and it kind of closes this gap so it's not as apparent. I think this is how you save dying fighting games and MMOs. Because if you don't know you're in a party with a bot, if you don't know there's a bots out there farming these low levels constantly, it always will give the illusion that there's players online, so that will actually help with player retention. Think about it. Just really think
I
about
found a
that.
couple other people using bots hooked up to ChatGPT to find out, which we'll get into right after this. Listen up, this sponsor is pretty freaking cool. They sent me another one of their products.
What is this? Oh,
is the Red Magic 8 Pro gaming
a
phone. It's pretty powerful to say the least.
gaming phone, dude. That's where we are.
16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage, a 50 megapixel camera on the back. It's got touch triggers on the sides that you can use to game, and it's a good looking phone. The entire front is just one beautiful.
It kind of looks like the old-fashioned Super Nintendo controller that's gray and got the like red buttons, purple buttons, red or purple. It kind of reminds me of that style. The blocky like controller.
Big screen. This red switch here on the side activates the gaming hub where you can add games and access really useful customizable features. And obviously the first thing I did when I got the phone was download RuneScape and add it to the game hub. As soon as a game is launched, the cooling fan, which is basically
cooling fan. Dude, this phone is literally better than most computers like probably like 5 or 7 years ago.
silent, turns on in the back,
Crazy.
lit up in RGB, which makes it feel like I'm holding a mini gaming PC. Let me show you how useful the gaming hub is. I'm at Spitting Wyverns right now and I want a prayer flick, but wow, that prayer icon is pretty small on the screen. I can swipe left or right to get to the gaming control panel where I can see my real-time CPU and GPU usage and access all sorts of settings. Here's the one I want though, key remapping. So I can basically create a new button that activates my prayers much bigger than the prayer icon and move it right underneath where my right thumb rests. This is just one of the things this phone can do. So if you're interested in learning more about the Red Magic 8 Pro, or if you're sold and want to buy it, click the link in the description. Thanks to Red Magic for sponsoring this video.
Hey,
so we have
it's not for
footage
me.
sent to me by people running bots that are hooked up to ChatGPT, talking to real players. Let's see if the players get suspicious. Okay, to make this super clear, real players' voices are female. What the bot says is a British male voice, and the screen goes red when the bot's talking.
Life isn't good.
Okay, so they're gonna do a test, real players interacting with the bots and see how it goes.
A British male
And the screen's gonna flash red whenever it's the bot talking. So just if you didn't understand that.
voice, and the screen goes red when the bot's talking.
Life isn't good.
Constant deaths. No luck with drops. Broke.
I don't want a kid anymore.
Not interested in raising a child.
Iron Man sucks.
Iron Man is bad.
WTF is the point?
Why even bother?
But they have cool things next to their name.
What cool things do they have next to their name?
I don't know. I guess I hate myself lol.
Feeling depressed about my progress in the game.
Same.
So
His response was the same. Like, you can't tell. You literally probably cannot tell. Like, I've never played RuneScape, so I actually don't know what the lingo would be, what people say. Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's like, this is the future. Believe it or not, this is the future. Same.
So far the bot seems very agreeable and rephrases a lot of what is said, but even that seemed to trick all the players around it. And here's more footage I was sent. This time, the context prompt for the bot was to be a grumpy RuneScape player.
Combat stats, bud.
What's the point?
77 mage, 53 defense.
Why you know have 99 mage yet shake my head.
I started a month ago and wanted to fish, mine, smith, and craft.
You start game you PVM noob you don't know how to play.
Very nice. Level crafting.
Why you no level up crafting faster, shake my head. Smithing level please?
Level mining.
Get lost noob, go mine yourself.
You start an ultimate Iron Man and get to 30 smithing. I dare you.
No thank you. Waste of time.
So what?
This is a conversation between a person and a bot, by the way. If that hasn't triggered in your mind yet, this person is conversating with a bot, not judging. I'm just saying you would not know.
Why you complaining?
Stop wasting my time with useless questions.
Definitely going on the bad list. You are playing RuneScape. Where is there use in any of this?
No point to this. Waste of time.
Like, are you serious?
Right. Bot name, I liked you. Don't annoy me so I ignore you.
Quit whining and play the game.
Not only did none of the players in the conversation
See?
get suspicious, but the bot literally roasted the players and argued with them for a good 3 minutes without raising suspicion. And this isn't
Is it clicking yet? Is it clicking yet? This is going to be in games, and I don't know if it's going to be better. I don't know. I can't say. But this is the future. It starts here, but this is the future. I don't know where we're going to end up at, but this is the future.
Even ChatGPT 4, which is supposed to be leaps ahead of this 3.5 model. Honestly, it's kind of hard to believe this is a bot, but if you've used ChatGPT, you probably believe it, and everyone who sent me footage also sent me logs of these conversations. What are the implications of all of this? Now that you all know this is out there implanted
Yep.
in RuneScape bots, you could watch out for it, but unfortunately, the bots will soon be hooked up to ChatGPT 4. And then
Yep.
eventually a ChatGPT 5 or 6 as the war between Jagex and the botters escalates. If Jagex's detection gets better,
And this is only RuneScape. It starts small with RuneScape. There's like bots in League for like Yumi. So there's bots for certain champions already. There's bots in like, I'm sure Fortnite. Every free to play game is going to have bots. There's probably going to be other games that have bots. It's not the hardest thing I imagine to make. And there's going to be no one to get on top of this. This is like the open AI and ChatGPT and all this. This is Pandora's box is opened. And that's why I'm always advocating, you cannot let a game upset you anymore. We are literally beyond that because in 5 or 7 years, it 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 really won't matter. Single player games are probably going to be the best thing ever because they won't have bots. I'm not saying bots are bad. I know obviously bots can be bad for the economy. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying GPT 3.5 and 4 are bad. The thing is, bots they do ruin a game. They do ruin games. That's the truth. But if companies can use that, because they obviously can't fight the problem. There apparently is there's no company that can just has beat botting 100%, right? So if you can't beat them, this is like if you can't beat them, you gotta join them. So if I honestly believe if companies can get on top of this, implement it in their own game, and use it creatively, obviously don't make a real bot. Don't just like have a fake player, but if you could like have NPCs, like imagine if you could have a full conversation with an NPC in an MMO or a JRPG or an ARPG. You could like recruit AI parties for like raids, and they actually like you would not know, and it is kind of desensitizing once you've actually experienced it, because it is very satisfying to complete something together as a group, especially if it's strangers or your guild, whatever. But there's gonna be a time we won't be able to tell the difference.
it's only natural to think botters will take more steps. They could probably be programmed to show a noob to Varrock if asked, ask players for an extra teleport to seem like a friendly player in need, maybe
Yep.
even add you to their friends list and
Yep.
start chatting with you from time to time. Maybe you even go bossing together once in a while. As long as it's in their economic interests to create these features to trick Jagex, they'll do so. The point is, in the not too distant future, bots will be unidentifiable to players. They're already randomizing their stats and gear patterns, so it gets
Yep.
difficult for me to spot them. Now let's think of it like this. Why does Jagex dislike bots? If the game is flooded with bots, money-making methods become worse from bots crashing the price of items they farm, and players hate that their hard work is easily surpassed by a few hundred lines of code. They hate seeing someone skip the hard parts of the game that they went through. Therefore, Jagex spends time and money to detect and ban bots. So why doesn't Jagex like bots? Because players don't like bots. But what if all of a sudden players don't know who is a bot and they're even friends with some of the bots?
Imagine, bro. I can honestly imagine a real world where players have bots on their friends list, probably in a guild with half people have bots. You always have people readily available to do stuff, players and bots. The guild leader is probably a bot too. The, long as you can play the game and it fulfills your fantasies and there is no huge obstructions, I just don't see it like I can just see it like just hand in hand. I literally could just see it hand in hand. Then you can eventually get bots to write your code for your game, so you can get better live service. Like, bro, it like no, like it's just wrap your head around that. Eventually, ChatGPT 4 or 5 will come out. Hey, ChatGPT, how do we make our live service game even more fun this season? Make the best possible live service patch for summer of 2023. Like, come on, bro. It's there.
Unknowingly,
That's all I'm
bots
saying.
kind of become somewhat of a positive externality. Players think the game is more populated than it is, and find that the player base on average may even be more willing to help out, as bots are programmed to break from their gold farming to do some human-like interaction. So now, unknowingly, players actually like bots, which means Jagex now likes bots, and as a for-profit company, Jagex actually starts to make their own bots to flood the RuneScape world with more players. It feels like the height of RuneScape in 2006. Many worlds are full, people are chatting, there are bots all over the place that act like cute noobs to give you that rush of dopamine from the nostalgia you've been being fed in not only a digital world but a fake reality of that digital world. There are thousands of fake bossing groups, fake clans, minigames are full, and everyone wants to be your friend. It takes 3 seconds to get a PvP fight whose result is pre-programmed slightly in your favor to keep your brain pumping dopamine so that you renew your now $50 per month membership.
And that's what I was saying about fighting games with the floors. If you have bots here, all trickled throughout here, and they're programmed to, lose every so often if you just aren't doing the right thing. Like if at this level you should be punishing something you're not, you just won't beat them ever, or majority of the time you won't beat them. But if you can punish them consistently, you get to actually, you win. You would win more games, even bot or player, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like I feel like in the context of fighting games, it could be it probably will be what saves fighting games. Because that's the only problem with fighting games. You can have a great game regardless of what other people may think. You can have a great game, but if no one plays it, it might not be all that great. But you can have a fun game. I'll say you can have a fun game, but if it's just not popular, no one's gonna play it, no matter how fun it is. I mean, there's exceptions, but for the most part, you won't be able to like if DNF duel, a new player gets DNF duel, there's not a lot of new players. So when they actually get in touch with another player, the skill they're way up here. So now the new player has to find a way to like cover that gap. How? Get what I'm saying? That's the problem. That's a huge problem.
Program slightly in your favor to keep your brain pumping dopamine so that you renew your now $50 per month membership. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Like, the nature of our reality is at stake. If Jagex made a bunch of PK or bots at every combat level with varying skill levels, hooked up to ChatGPT so no one could tell their bots, getting a fight wouldn't take 15 minutes, and I'd totally be playing way more RuneScape and be purchasing way more membership as long as Jagex could keep tricking me that their bots are real players. I guess one of my main questions is, should we even care? To me,
Yes.
RuneScape is beautiful because of the player interactions. But it's not even just gonna happen in RuneScape or at Jagex. This prediction is applicable to lots of video games. I think either governments will start regulating required disclosure of non-human interaction, both in video games and elsewhere online, meaning it's illegal for companies not to tell you you're talking to or playing with a non-human, or we're all going to be turned completely into dopamine drips.
We will all be turned into dopamine drips because that is where the money will be. Whoever has the best live service game in their respective genre will be getting the most money every quarter. That is how it's going to go. If they're using ChatGPT or not, I don't know, but I do know the first company or the first series of companies that can incorporate it properly into their game's ecosystem will benefit the most from it in the long haul. Cause say it doesn't, say you implement it in game one and players is like, what the heck, bro? This is trash. I don't want to play this. But in game three, it's so seamless. 5 years later, it's so seamless you don't even know. You can't even tell.
Let me know if you want me to keep covering
That's all I'm
AI's
saying.
integration into RuneScape bots by leaving a like on this video and subscribing if you haven't already. And please, try not to get tricked by too many bots.
I'm not much of a PKer. Yep. Anyways, I just thought that was a very, very interesting video. I'm gonna like the video. I don't care too much about RuneScape, but like he said, the information and idea is up applicable to other games and other game genres. And yeah, that's the video. So thanks for watching. Hope you thought it was interesting just as much as I thought it was interesting. And you know the motto. Tell someone you appreciate them, because I appreciate you guys watching. Tell someone you love them. Excuse me. Tell someone you love them. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.